Good evening. Today, our topics are two topics. One, aptitude testing and other personality testing. Aptitude to use the examination oriented skills and individual skills and special characteristics to pursue skills. This is aptitude. Introduction. The most common characteristics of aptitude involved in its ability to performance an activity or task. This ability to surprise environmental variables and nature, we are born with certain aptitude from the particular dimensions such as music, drawing, language, and further. The environment may be contribute as being able to manifest this ability, but is not responsible for insight it if was not presented first. Thus, it is important to understand of difference between the construct after many deliberate psychologists have graded the intelligence test assess the generalized ability learning that occurs in a wide variety settings of acquired expressions. Example, verbal reasoning skill, spatial participation ability memory, and ability development of knowledge, understanding skills and attitude. Achievement tests such as reading mathematical tests, seeking measuring the specific learning that has already taken place in school or at home, and aptitude test to attempt to measure the individual's capacity to be successful at the particular task. The scholastic achievement attempt to measure how well individual would perform in a higher education setting. The distinction between aptitude and ability test is suitable and may be psychologist and set of publishers used to the term intelligence integrability in general. However, ability testing assessed the cognitive and motor skills set that have been acquired over the long period of the time and that are not attributable to any specific program's interaction. It is also assessed the specific factors of the spearman. Therefore, aptitude symbolistic symptomatic aptitude is a symptomatic or indicative of one potential which is help us to know what one can be do to okay, some definitions of the aptitude according to Merriam-Webster's College Dictionary. Okay, aptitude can be defined as a inclination, tendency, or natural ability. Inclination sentence, natural a capacity for the learning and general suitability. Dictionary of Education, aptitude is defined as a uh, pronounced initiative capacity for or ability to give line and endeavors such as a particular art, school subject, and vocational setting. Devon says Deva this it has different definition. Aptitude is a measure of probable rate of learning, which result in interesting and satisfaction and relatively specific narrow specific narrows in depth. In English and English dictionary, aptitude may be regarded as a capacity to acquire proficiency, person proficiency with a given amount of training. Proficiency. Aptitude is a condition, quality, or a set of qualities which is indicative and probability extended to which in a individual may be able to acquire understanding suitable training some knowledge understanding how to measure the aptitude. Aptitude tests are structured systematic way of elevating how the people performance task or reaction different sort of situation. They are characterized by the standardized methods of the administration and scope with the result qualified and competence with how the other done by the same terms now. Furthermore, aptitude tests are administered under time condition, and aptitude test is designed to assess what person is capability of doing or predict what a person is able to learn or given to right education in an institute. It represents a person level of competency to perform a certain type of tasks, such as aptitude tests, are often used to assess academic potential, care suitabilities, and may be used of the assess either mental, physical, talented variety of the dimensions. Different type of aptitude test. The number of aptitude tests. Number of aptitude tests have been developed a part of general aptitude batteries and aptitude test in a special areas aptitude test for the different professionals and test of the artistic aptitude or talent are now available. All aptitude test can be broadly categorized by type: motor and manual test, differential aptitude batteries. This battery motor test is finger and fine motors, fingers and manual manipulated. Different aptitude test. It is a battery. In this subset, eight subset, some different subsets. Multiple aptitude batteries. Multiple aptitude is special categories. Special aptitude test. Music and art craft. Multiple test. Motor manual. Motor skills represented to output of functioning human ability, understanding and problem solving occur the unobservable inside the human brain, but the product of the mental activity is expressed either in words or through some physical activity. Many motor skills testers required people to use their cognitive skills prior to making some physical responses. For example, clerical speed and accuracy RRB exams. Motor coordination ability, coordination, the eye-hand coordination, finger in quickly, precise and accurate movement. Test of motor coordination present people with a page of small boxes and require them to the make mark in the main box of the possible within the brief diagnostic time. Finger dexterity, the ability to make small, rapid, accurate movement with the fingers such as the typing and typewriting and movement of the small object to finger quickly accurately such as the assembling of two or more objective. Test of finger dexterity require the people assemble the simple objectives such as picking up pins and putting them into the small hole without dropping in the limited amount of time. Manual dexterity, the ability to make coordinate movement, which is hand quickly and skillful. To test of the manual dexterity requires the people to placing objectives, design position of the turn objective from one position to another distinguished position. Dexterity test help to event the manual ability of the individuals in order to of the therapist of the provide the appropriate therapeutic terms which is the required. They can be also used the pre-screen and employed for the job that rely on fine motor skills and accordingly with the finger hand arms. Pewter pegboard test. Pewter pegboard test measure the dexterity of the testing ability of a test sub to quickly interest pins into hole. This is was developed by the industrial psychology Purdue University to examine the capacity and applicants of the perform the industrial jobs. The test provides the few different tests of the Tudor test. The test provides the few different testing of steps. Procedure can be adapted specific to timings need. Test performed using Tudor blackboard test. Steps including removing the pins from the tray and placing them into the Tudor board. Minnesota manipulator distributed test. Assess the person's ability to use eye-hand coordination to placing disc and the pole on the test of board. This test has two versions: so manual dexterity test and complete Minnesota dexterity test. Complete Minnesota dexterity test. Both test measure both test measured the eye-hand coordination. The test involve having test subject performance dexterity movement using desk desk. The CMDT included the five different tests in the entire test battery, which make it more accommodating to testing a wider spectrum of dexterity material. Vocal Switzer dexterity. This allows the therapist employment of the screening to evaluate the dexterity of the finger and hand to O'Connor or use the testing the more precious movement. Sorry. O'Connor's future dexterity allow the therapist of employment to screen to evaluate the dexterity of the finger and hand. The O'Connor test was used to test more precious movement of the finger. The finger test required to subject to place pins in the hole, a step in a similar to plug blackboard test. The O'Connor Switzer dexterity required testee to use the pair of switcher to perform the pins and placement. The, the O'Connor test are generally used to determine the aptitude of someone being the considered from the assembling of the job such as the switching. Roder manipulative aptitude test. Roder dexterity test allows the therapist and skills screeners to determine the specific skills levels of the people in regards to particular movements of the hand and finger. This test assesses a person ability to assemble and short objectives. The test appropriate include the performance board road with the third and end of these nuts, the westler of the caps. The road are the screened into a shop to on a performance board. Test involves the various shooting sequences well assemble the test. The test subjects are timed daily performed sequence of the scoring and assembling the road are wrestler caps and nuts. Some performance board. The roder steps in can be used a range of the skill assessment, job specific test, me- mechanic hand tool dexterity test is mechanical hand tool dexterity test. The mechanical tool dexterity focus on the ability. Sorry, it is repeated. Okay. Test focused on the ability to test subject use tools are required from task or objective involve the mechanical work. What happened? Mechanical work and other test has been involved to check a person's skills for the particular test or understand programs may be rehabilitation and hand tool dexterity except to examine the subject proficiency with mechanical tools such as Westler and Swigertis. Yeah, differential aptitude test. Yes, the original form of ANP data DAT were developed by 1947 provide the integrated scientific and well standardized procedure for the measure the abilities of the boys and girls graders of 8th through 12th and purpose of the educational and vocational guidance. This comprehensive and careful developed battery differential aptitude. The battery consists of eight eight subsets, eight subtests. In subsets are verbal reasoning, numerical reasoning, abstract reasoning, spatial relation test, and mechanical reasoning, clerical speed test, language and usage, accuracy test, accuracy test. Okay, one by one. Verbal reasoning test. In this subset are 50 items. Maximum possible score is 50. It is the methods of the ability understand the concept of framed in a wording formation. It is verbal reasoning, verbatim to to the subject. Numerical ability in these 40 items and the maximum possible score is 40 and designed and designated test of the understanding numerical relationship and facial handling numerical concept or how to numeric understanding abstract reasoning. Abstract reasoning, again, the construct of 50 items in the every test time is, okay, sorry. This test is, each test is 30 minutes only time limit test. It is a performance test. It is speed and accuracy methods. Every test timing is only 30 minutes within a time limit. Abstract reasoning 50, 50 items is the maximum score is possible score 50. Abstract reasoning test integrated of the non-verbal. It is a non-verbal measurement for the student person abilities. Spatial relation test. In this 60 item maximum possible score is 60 to visualize the constructive objective of the picture's patterns. The frequency test is a structural visualization, similarity ability, imaging how to objective paper and rotated the various ways of effectively measuring the facial performance. Okay. Mechanical reasoning. Mechanical reasoning test. In this, is 70 items, which is why maximum possible score is 70. Each item is consistent of the pictures of the present mechanical situation together with a simple words questions. Care was taken in present items. It is a term simply frequently encoded mechanism such as not required specific knowledge. Clerical speed accuracy test is the designer to have 100 items and maximum possible raw score is 100. The clerical speed and accuracy test are the integrated measure. It is the speed of responses in a simple procedure task. Simple procedure task. Language usage test has been 100 items special, 60 items are the language usage. Maximum possible score is 100 to 60 perspective. The language item integrated measure the student's ability, direct error in a grammar functions and the computations. The two tests of spellings and language usage are more merely achievement test than and of the other. The chief reasoning of the inclusion among the difference aptitude test is that they represented basic skills which is a necessary for so many academic vocational functions. Multiple batteries, multiple there are provide the measure of the individual standing of the each numbers of trials. A separate score obtained from the such as trials, verbal comprehension, numerical aptitude, arithmetic reasoning, and um, spatial spatial speeds extra, such as batteries provide the suitable instrument for the kind of intra-individual analysis or the different diagnosis that is the usage has been rising from years to obtained example. One of the first multiple aptitude test battery developed by the Thurston primary mental ability test GABT VIC extra Thurston first multiple battery primary mental ability test. Okay. Special aptitude test and multiple aptitude test uses the assess the person capacity for the learning various abilities. Aptitude test measure the narrow range of abilities than the general intelligence test. Mechanical aptitude test, the mechanical abilities to an individual involve the manipulating certain objects such as tools and dealing mental with mechanical movement. These tests are some extent resemble the motor and manual test. The number of tests is available for the measuring mechanical aptitude for the fairly larger field of corner rather than the assessment of occupation. Minnesota Mechanical Assembly Test. Minnesota paper from board. Minnesota Spatial Relationship Test. Jason O'Connor Griveling Blocks. Sherman Mechanical Aptitude Battery. Suggestible of the aptitude test. This is aptitude test. The clerical aptitude test. Different opinions are held Different opinions are held regarding the terms clerical aptitude. Super opinion refers to ability for routine clerical work. Bills point out the clerical duties, including the gathering, the classification, and presentation of data of all the shutters, and analysis and use of these data in planning, excluding of the determining the result of the operation. A number of tests is available measuring the clerical aptitude test. Minnesota Clerical Aptitude Test, General Clerical Aptitude Test, the Detroit Clerical Aptitude Test, PRW Clerical Aptitude Test, Orissa Test of Clerical Test, Clerical Aptitude Test and Examination, Professional Aptitude Test. This test is primarily measure aptitude for different professionals, such a test are administered before administration into professional institute like medical, legal, engineering institutions. There are many tests to measure aptitude in a medicine, science, mathematical laws, in engineering and technical issues. Okay. The artistic aptitude, such as graphic art test, artistic aptitude test, such as graphical aptitude test. The test measures the art and asserting aptitude. Musical aptitude is a various component of musical talented. Literacy aptitude test. To example, the about the troublest and reading poetry and judgment of the test. Scholastic aptitude test. This test is measure the school student progress report. Scholastic aptitude, some examples such as the school report. Test of the interest. And interest is a subjective attitude moving a person certain certain task. It is of broad pleasure and a satisfaction. It results in a accurately towards objective interest, encourages to be attached to objectives, strength of will, facial difficulties, while engaging in the task of the one interest and definitely changing behavior in the present tense of these objective characters of attention. Jones test. Interest is a feeling likely associated with a reasoning either actual or immigrated to specific in the situation. Become. Interest is an tendency to become a abstract, about the test. Experience continues and version of the tendency to turn away of this sometimes. A type of interest. Jones varies of the strength type of interest to extruring and intrinsic extraversions and introversion. The formal pleasurable of emotion concept with the pressure and goal of an effective activities. It may be involved for fame, name, money, victory, or such as external movements conducting. But the later and contact with the activity, it is itself of being a basic and really real attraction without any external motive. The expression interest is dates of soon some goal reached. Surprises some is the guidance expectation classification interest into the expressed interest, manifested interest, measured interest. Expressed interest is a person expressed interest. The person expressed is the personal likening thoughts such as the scenes of love spot and thought is the first source of knowledge and interest is a person cannot be relayed with is the vary from time to time depending upon the maturity of the person. Manifested interest is the manifested interest is the not in the expressed but the observed. Okay. And manifested setting observation. mm, Manifested interest is expressed about observation by others while the persons of enduring observed in a activity. Newton forgetting himself meal of the engaging scientific. Measured interest is the estimated measured interest. Measured interest is the estimated accounting of the person interest relatively by of psychological testing and interest involuntary in variety of the for known interesting person from the can be relay more on manifested interest and measure the interest rather than the expressed interest. Type of tools of measuring interest. Many tools of the measurable to interest. In these tools of method of interest two types of formal and informal. The formal method of specialized and standardized measuring instruments such as the interest involved the interest batteries. The formal methods of including the person own statement, a record of activities and observation by the partner of the teachers, such as the three notable formals of method, such as three formal. There are there are three notable formulas methods are strong vocational interest blank and tutor performance recorded, and Thurston vocational interest schedule. Okay. The aptitude test. Another test is today another topic. Personality and personality type test. Okay. What is personality? The unique characteristics that thoughts, feelings, and behavior consistent of accessibility and individuals over a time and across the situation, the strong influence our expectations, self-perception, values, and attitude predict our reactions, the people problems and stress. Key components of the personality. Distinctive and uniqueness of character and enduring the pattern of behavior, stability and consistency and predictability behavior, stability key component, and internal coherence are unified organization of characteristics that is embraced with the whole persons. Yes. A personality. A person unique and relatively stable behavior patterns such as consistency of two you are have been an individual become character. Personal characteristics that is have been a judged or evaluated. Temperament, hereditary aspect of the personality, including the sensitivity and mood irritability and adaptability, personality trials, suitable unique person showing the movement and situation, personality type, people who have the several trials of calm. Okay. Yes, meaning and definition. Personality is a dynamic and organization set of characteristics. It is proposed by the that is uniquely influenced their environmental cognition, emotion, motivation, and have the behavior various situation. The word of personality arising from the Latin persona, which means mask. According to Western personality, is the sum of the activities which can be discovered by the actual observation over the long ensued period of the time given by the reliable information, definitions of personality. Are Fisher and Alport definitions. These are definitions. We'll read it. Nature of personalities. The type of unique and result both of hereditary integrated trials, psychological symptoms are reflective individual differences, learned adequacy, dynamic process, social contents. This is very large topic. That's why. Approaches to personality. Researchers have taken from many different approaches to the described and attempt to the explain the personality trials approaches. The focus on the today Eisenkettel psychodynamic approaches to your unconscious and internal conflict to the dynamic of the conflict through the years stage of the development can be determine the individuals of personality and attitude. Humanistic approaches Maslow. Okay. Trials approaches, Eysenck and Cattell. Psychodynamic approaches, Freud. Humanistic approach, Maslow and Rogers' five basic beliefs. Human surprises of the most part of the excessive inequity and human context are very beginning the where conscious feelings of the international goals, internalized goals. Situational approaches, Bandura, role of the social learning modeling and reinforcement mode of role of the social learning modeling and reinforcement situational approaches. Okay. This is psychodynamic perspective, humanistic perspective, and trials perspective and social cognitive perspective. So emphasize the major each categories. A psychoanalytic perspective, the neo-Freud theory, Sigmund Freud theory, Carl Jung theory, and afraid the social situational question. Human perspective. Humanistic perspective, psychological focus of psychological growth, free wellness, and the personality awareness. It came more positively on the outlook of the human nature, and it is the centered on how the each person can be achieved their individual potential. The following are the most influence of humanistic perspective theories. Carl Rogers believed the inherently goodness of the people and emphasized the importance of free will and psychological growth. He suggested that the actualization tendency is the driving of the force of behind the human behavior. Abraham Maslow, hereditary needs. Trials characters. Isaac and Raymond Cattell and Robert Mercy Plug Costa. Big Five Factor Theory and 16P of Personality, Raymond B. Cattell. And Isaac was suggested the three dimensions of personality. Three dimensions: extraversion, introversion, emotional stability, and neuroticism. Isaac, neuroticism, psychoticism. Psychoticism. These are the three-dimensional personality. Hijack is three-dimensional. Raymond can be cattle. RB cattle is Raymond B. cattle is the 16 period personality utilization. Rapid mention post is big five factor theory. Big five factor theory is the extraversion, neuroticism, openness and experiences, consciousness and agreeableness. These are the stories of these factors. Okay, five factor theory. Each factor is a component trials and situation depend upon the emotional stabilities emotional stability, instability, openness, so on. So, um, okay, extraversion. Content of talkativeness and assertiveness of the activities by silentness, positive response. Agreeableness, contrasts kindness and trustworthiness, so worthy holistic of some words. Okay. Social cognitive perspective. The social cognitive theory is essentially standardized as the social learning theory in the existence of the Abraham Albert Bandura. It is developed by into a ST in the 1860s. The position learned to occur in a social context which is a dynamic and reciprocal interaction of the person, environment, and the behavior. The social reciprocal activity. It is the teaching is a reciprocal activity on in offline. It is online is a some barrier. Okay. The social cognitive theory is the theoretical perspective of the learning and behavior of the focus of the studies. And social cognitive theories on the personality, behavior, personality, environmental factor. This is behavior. Personality factors are the cognitive factor, affective, and biological effectives. The focus on how we the um, focus on how we are interested with our culture and environmental. Albert Bandura is the backing. Reciprocal determination, trials, environmental, and the behavior interacting influence of the others. Um, some other topic, other personality test. Personality test and assessment of personality. Okay. Yes, personality test and personality assessment and types of personality tests. Assessment and personality test. Personality assessment. Personality assessment assistance counselors in understanding behavior and particular individuals. She is counsel help of the counselor to be counseling about a possible features of the action. Help of the counselor make prediction about the person features. Okay, objectives of the assessment. Personality assessment and subjective. More part of the two. Subjective does not necessarily accurate in the comparison. How can be possible? Personality assessment be more objective, assess the and defensive field of methods such as the look of communication improvement to the five. Personality assessment is used to further describe client is judgment diagnosis of this one. Okay. Okay. Thus, the structure of personality. Personality involves the stable pattern behavior affected cognitive so as the suitable. Level of analysis, factor group for trials, big five factor theory, neo five factor theory, big five trials, clustered of the consistent individual behavior, habit, consistent of overtime individual behavior, signals, individual behavior, all the level of future behavior adopting the consider the more when the recommended implementations, predicting behavior, difficult specific behavior behavior from the global tendency the for client evaluation sorry, generally to measure the how the result studying of broad group of our situation assessment of general freedom extraversion is regarding of this particular aspect. Okay. Predictive behavior. Another one. Regarding the discussion, will The present of the regardiness of the PowerPoint power slides. Read the material in a advanced known as the MMPI. You will be generated the three questions such as every regarding last five. Each one open-ended questions and learning of classification discussion. Two schedules are debated, such as the methods of unique standardization test batteries and phones, or phones and phones, phones and phones. The batteries should be used the standardization test batteries, phones and phones. So should you have the projective test or the project non-projective test? It is the techniques of the test regarding these questions. The selection of the test batteries. See better. So what is the reference questions? Science most important determination. There are the time limited factors regarding the client. Context of the evaluation. Work on school hospitality. 1 minute. Just no reason. Okay. Rachana is I take class right now. Why you are disturbing to me? Huh? Why? Tell me, yeah. Take right now. Take class. Okay. Problem focus are both multi-purpose of batteries, homostatic or impressive, and or narrative evaluation are impressive with the evaluation of the individuals. Okay. Using uh, qualitative methods of AP, the method of appropriateness of the openness and theoretical sensitivity, backtaining of prestation responsibilities. Method of appropriateness is the initiative method used instead. It is a qualitative assessment of orientation of the skills. Theoretical sensitivity is the acceptance of theories and own theories. Back reckoning of the expressions, you must be explanatory tables of your conclusions, adaptation, adaptability, responsibility with the quantitative method of administrative interpretation. General ability test, MMPI test. General ability was the assessment of tracking of sulfur of the large verification on the large number of variable situation. Verification methods of the test, cross-validation of the method using the report writing and materials of usually occurs and without the conclusions, issues and without conclusions, without findings predict of outcomes of the grounding. This total process of the mechanic of the coherence is all the interpretation of the together coherent stories. Believe are usefulness. Believe and usefulness. Believeness and usefulness of the provided to the client just the raising of the question do not result of believable narrative. Intelli- intelligibility. It is the report of regardable jargon free movement. Personality assessment. Explain the personality assessment techniques, self-reported inventories, projective techniques, and clinical interviews, behavioral assessment. Types of the tester assessment methods. Willing of the willing of the depend upon the objective theoretical perspective holding. Psychoanalysis researchers preference use the projective techniques. Person centered theory interview the subjective in-depth theory, behaviorist social learning theory, objective of the behind of behavioral methods. Okay. Psychometric properties, psychometric properties are characteristics of the test and measures of these are completed. Psychological assessment, reliability, validity, result are the consistent of satisfaction objectives. Okay. What is definition? Okay. Personality inventories. Personality inventories is specifically designed to seek answers about the person with personality. Or his questions are wondered the first persons such as I often feel alone. Best known as Personality Inventory, Minnesota Multi-Basis Personality Inventory MMP, developed by the J.C. McKillen and Minnesota. So it consists of 550 items. Consistence of 550 items, and each item printed in a separate card. Answer will be yes or no doubtful. Drawbacks of personality inventory is difficulty getting the responses to allow the questions such as this. Weaknesses may be ignorant of the own trials. Other personality inventories, Eysenck personality inventory, cattle 16 personality factors of inventory 16 PF, California personality inventory extras. Okay. Personality inventories. Self-reported and projective techniques. Minnesota MFPI personality inventory, California test of inventory, Mary Prayer type of inventory indicator, MVP personality inventories of neo period, neo personality inventory, five factor theory, modeling consists of neuroticism, extraversion, openness, agreeableness, consciousness, projective techniques, these dramatic approaches test creating Rorschach flag test. With each test in detail, basics of characteristics of personality assessment. Personality with the IQ of achievement test is the typically maximum performance test. Table consists of interest and degree of influences. Degree of interference assessment methods, behavioral and approach with clinical and artificial intelligence test. Okay. Methods of developing of assessment method, logical reasoning, face validity, consistent approaches, DMC. Theory, questions of referral theory, reflective theory about the personality, human behavior, self-direction, such as the EPSC. Data required methods, factors analysis of the placing of the data. Okay, empirical critical key. It is the items of the selecting differentiation MMPI test. Personality assessment techniques. Most of the commonly used as psychometric test, self-reported measures, and projective techniques and behavioral analysis. Okay, psychometric assessment. A psycho test written by the worker and evaluation of administration in the cognitive emotional function of the children and attitude. Psychological test objectives and the standardized measures, individuals, materials, and behavioral characteristics. Psychological test is instrument designed by the measuring the unobservable concept of this. Okay, self-reported methods. Alport is suggested by the best method of the assess the person to ask himself about to herself. This one. These are the fairly structured of method. Often has been the theory of subject verbal responses and using the method of required the subject objective reported. The responses are the are interpreted there the face value of the scored quantitative terms inadequate. The MMPI structure, MMPI multi, the Minnesota multi-phases personality inventory. In this inventory, widely usage of the test personality Heathwaite McLean, developed by as the helping tools of the psychiatric diagnosis, has been founded variety effect of the identified the variety of the psychological problem. Psychiatric patient was a visitor the 15 or true or false. Okay, 10 clinical scales in this conducted differentiate the group validity scales and several researchers consistent can be developed over the year. Okay. MMPI2 consists of the 567 statements. Subjective has been rejected each of the statement true or false. The index with the 10 subscales seeking to the diagnosis hypochondria, hypochondriasis, depression, hysteria, hypochondriasis. Hypochondriasis is the feeling of no health problem, any complications of the health complications. His clinic, his client is, I have suffering from headaches, variety of the problems to do shopping of the doctor shopping. And there is any doctor come completed, no problem, no problem. This patient or client is suffering from problem in head. This is hypochondriasis, adrogabai, depression, hysteria, psychopathic, deviatic, manicular feminization, um, parsimony, psychoanesia, schizophrenia, mania, and social introversion. Item readiness, eliminated objectives on regarding addressing items, drug abuse, and type of attitude is three new validation scales, new constructing scales, clinical settings, large more representative normative sampling in Indian McLean Jensen have been developed. The Jodhpur multi-space personality inventory test is line of MMPI, lines of MMPI, Indian adaptation test. Alright. Ising personality questionnaire, CPP, In this Intel 2 of dimension of personality, introvert, extrovert, and emotionality stable to emotional unstable. These are dimensions are characterized by the 32 personality traits. So later, the Eysenck addressed third dimension called as psychoticism, a personality type of the aggressiveness in interpersonal holistic link of the psychopathology represented as the happening of feeling super other truth of manners so interesting, which is the people and the tendency to define their social conversation. A person scoring high on this dimension tendency will be hostels and genetic and anti-socialization. 16 PF personality factor theory. This was developed by the Catalan basis on the students and identified the large personality description, which is the subjective factors analyzed, identified the basic of personality structure. Cattle identified 16 PF personality dimension personality. Working reasoning of emotional stability, reasoning, emotional stability, dimension, liveliness, true consciousness, social bodiness, sensitivity, vagueness, subtractive patterns, apprehension, openness, signs of self-reliance, and performance of the tension. These are the 16. Okay. It is provided the declarative statement. Declarative statement subjective of responses is choosing from the set of given by alternative. The test can be used at the high school of this well projective test. Yes, projective test, the psychological test, which is the images and suitable presentation, which is the emphasizing personality relevant, is the pleasurable and relevant emotions to the internal conflict projective personality test in the test. The type of projective test Picture projective techniques, Rorschach block test and thematic upper personality test, verbal projective technique test, associative techniques, and word association method, comprehension technique test, sensitivity and comprehension, expressive methods, play and techniques of the drawing of paint, role play test. Okay. Okay. CPI, assessment, California test of personality.